Hello, and I'm back with the CB650F, and I'd say I'm pretty sort of spot on when it comes to the maintenance on this. You know, I take good care of it, but I've got a confession to make. I have been a bit of a naughty boy, and there's one thing I've neglected, and it's right here to do with this. There's our coolant system, and for some reason I got no excuse. I've never flushed it. I've still got the coolant I had when I first had the bike. So that's going to be our little job today. We're going to flush the coolant system. Well, when I say flush it, I'll probably literally just empty it and put new coolant in. So we'll have a little bash at that, and we'll see how sort of straightforward it is. I've had a quick look at the manual. I got a Haynes manual with this bike, and it seems relatively straightforward. So I'll get all my tools together and we'll have a little bash at that. Right, let me run you through my plan of attack. So I got my tools there, and my usual tools that I usually have, but my main tool that I think I'm going to be using is this 5mm Allen wrench there, which is to take off a few of the fairings and the drain bolt, which I'll come to in a minute. It says in the manual, I think it takes 2.5 litres of coolant, so I've got 3 there. I got these as well. I got a funnel there, and this is my favourite tool. I use it so much. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's a syringe, and it is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. I got a kneeling mat. No, not just one kneeling mat, but 2 kneeling mats, one either side of the, so I don't have to keep swapping that, just because I'm becoming an old bugger, and we need every bit of help we can. And then I got basically a paint tray, hopefully catch the fluid the best we can, and a bucket, so I'll just empty it into there as we go along. So that's the plan of attack. So first job I'm going to do is remove this fairing, which will give me access to the radiator cap, and then we shall start draining the coolant, which is, where is it now? I think, oh, there it is. Just where this coolant pipe comes there. Is it focusing? Well, I'll point to it. Right there, there's a little 5mm Allen cap, and we drain it from there. So we'll be sticking that under there. Hopefully catch it, and that's basically it. And now I probably end up taking a few of these Jubilee clips off of pipes and things like that, just to really sort of get every little drop off. Oh, that's probably another little sort of drain for the radiator there by the looks of it. So we'll have a bash at that, and I'll start off just by loosening bits and bobs off, and we'll get back to you. Right, I got my 5mm Allen wrench on the drain socket there. I was just thinking, just because I'm on YouTube, do you have to state the obvious? I think you do. Don't assume anything, innit? Obviously, make sure you haven't just run your bike and the engine's really hot, because that is a potential hot stream of boiling water spraying straight towards you and won't be very pleasant. I know it sounds obvious, but perhaps you have to say these things. I always sort of think that everybody would know that, but obviously not. And I just thought I'd quickly run, what's the reason for changing it, you know, because levels are fine, everything. I think it's just like anything else on the bike, it deteriorates, and just like the oil, if you just ran the same oil there, it'll not do its job as well. It won't lubricate parts, and it becomes something else. It's just the same as your brake fluid. If you don't change that, it stops doing what it's supposed to do, and just exactly the same with the coolant as well. And it's even been known to sort of, in certain scenarios, damage parts of the engine where it becomes, I think it's acidic, or one way or the other, alkalinic or acidic or something. So it just, like anything else, it deteriorates. Change it, put fresh in. So ideally, I think it's every 2 years or something like that. So anyway, let's chit chat, let's crack on with this. Here we go. So I don't know if I need to use 2 hands here. I don't want to risk stripping anything, so let me just put the phone down. I'm gonna, here we go. Right, we've loosened it, so here we go. It sounded actually a bit like a vacuum, I could hear it. So I'm not expecting much water to come through here because I haven't taken the radiator cap off yet. So I'm going to take it right off and then take the radiator cap, so it's probably a bit of a vacuum here. There we go, he's off, that's what it looks like. So, just starting to drip a little bit there. So, I was out on the bike earlier, absolutely stunning day. Let me give you a little glimpse of this gorgeous sky. It is like middle of September, so it's absolutely amazing. And then, I'm going to loosen this. I was even doubting myself there, just making sure it is cold. Oh, there we go. Oh, and I can hear it squirting like mad, so it's probably missing my tray completely. Yep, here we go. Oh, I underestimated that. I don't know, saying about stating the obvious. Obviously, we have to dispose of it responsibly. There we go, get that one in there as well. Whoa. So, quite a stream to start off with, and then, well, I'd say I'd say there's a lot more of that in there, because I don't know how much is that. Let's pour it out. And with regards to what type of coolant I put in, basically when I was buying it, they said, oh, have you got the red type or the blue type? I said it's blue, so I just got blue again. I kept it as untechnical as that, basically. I think there's like a slightly higher grade one and everything, but it's just a ready to use one. You don't dilute it, all straight in, no water. So let me quickly show you the other thing here, what that syringe is for. Right, this really is my tool of choice. I use it so much. I don't know why I don't see more people not doing it. It just seems common sense to me. But we've got to extract all the coolant from this reservoir here, and apparently you can do it, and it's quite a big job to get that out, and so I just simply syringe it out. And I use this for so many things, to put in lawnmower oil, or extract brake fluid, or put it in, or whatever, if it's anywhere awkward. So I'm literally just going to stick that in there, and I'm doing this with one hand. There we go. How simple is that? Get every little drop out. Still going. Oops. They're doing a one-hand operation. There we go, and then empty it into the. How easy is that? And I'll use that for absolutely everything. It is so simple. I'm just going to have a little wiggle around there, make sure we got it all out. It looks like we have. There we go. How easy was that? And I'm contemplating if when I come to fill up that expansion tank, I'll probably do the reverse of that and just fill that up with antifreeze, coolant, and we'll get that in there. Rightio, I'm going to just see about that other drain point on the radiator and see if we get anything out of that. There you go. That come off fairly. Gosh, that was not tight at all. I've never taken that off. It needed zero effort, so that's something that doesn't require much tightening. It's just, oh, the loads came out, whoa. There we go. So that's quite critical, I think, to get that out. So the radiator is obviously holding a lot of water, which baffles me a bit, because I would have thought it would have just gone down to the lowest point. There we go. So we'll let that drain off and get back to you in a minute. Right, I've also just taken off this pipe really low down on here. Oh well, that's picking that up. Got the sun behind us. Just because it's one of the lowest points I could get to, and loads of coolant came out there. So I'm just going to let that drip out. And I know some internet keyboard warriors are going to be a bit funny about that, but I'm going to put a hose pipe on there and just blow out any excess on there. They'll probably, oh, you shouldn't do that, but I've done things like that loads of times, and I am blowing it and not sucking it, so I can't imagine there being any issue. Just get it all out and we'll put it all fresh in there. Alternatively, you could, I suspect, just run some water through the whole system to get it all out, and it's not imperative, I think, that you get every last tiny drop out, you know, but I would imagine we've got about 95% of it out or more. So, or maybe later on I'll put that back in the empty bottles and we'll see exactly how much came out, so it'll be a good indication. Rightio, so I'm basically going to do the reverse of everything in a minute. I'm going to start buttoning everything up, and I think there's a bleed procedure you got to go through, so I'll do that, and perhaps you can watch us putting it all the fluids in as well, and see if I mess that up or if it all goes smoothly. Right, I just put a litre of coolant in there, and unfortunately it didn't film. I don't know why. There's the empty bottle, and I was just about to start the second one. But as I did that, I filled that up, and I left the drains not that tight, just loosened them up a bit just to get out any trapped air, and there wasn't really any, and out of this drain as well. So as soon as I saw coolant coming out of there, just tightened it back up. So I haven't seen anywhere where that's written, but it just seemed a logical thing to me where I've drained it out, just to make sure the coolant's running back through, and just less chance of any sort of trapped air pockets. So I'm going to continue to fill up the radiator there. It's not that interesting, just got a little funnel, and you got the basic idea. We just chuck it in there like so till it's full, and then I'll fill up the reservoir. Perhaps I'll show you that, because we'll do the syringe thing. Right, fun and games. Let's see if we can do this with one hand. So I'm going to fill up their expansion tank. Oh, right, here we go. So just syringing in some fluid there. This is a lot more difficult than it should be, just because I'm doing it one-handedly. There we go, I got a good whack in there. I'm going to fill that I'm going to just chuck that in there, and I'm going to fill that up to the maximum for now, because it will need top up once the engines have been run for a bit. One very poor thing about this bike is it is quite difficult to see the level of the coolant there. You can sort of just about work it out. Oh, that's perfect. We're right on the upper limit. There we go. Spill a bit. Right, I thought that was pretty damn successful considering I did it with one hand. So we'll button that up. So far I've used exactly 2 litres. So I think the procedure is we've got to start it up, blip the throttle a few times, and then recheck the radiator levels. So I'll do that. I'll put the radiator cap back on. That's up to the brim. And right, we're going to fire her up. Before I do, just going to mention one other thing. Whenever I do any work on my bike, I just always use a bike stand rather than working off the side stand. I just feel it's a lot safer. The bike's level, so especially with the fluids and everything, you can see the correct levels without sort of having to tilt it up or stick things underneath the side stand, and then the bike's not that stable. So I just thought I'd quickly say that before I start the bike up, because you probably won't hear me. So I think the procedure we're going to do is let it warm up a bit and then blip the throttle a few times. We'll switch it off and then we'll check the levels again. So let me just make sure that radiator cap's on properly. And I think we're all good to go. So here we go. See, yep, she's in neutral. Let's fire up. Right, so that's been ticking over for a few minutes, well, not even a minute. I don't want it to get too warm, because we want to check the water levels again. So I'm just going to blip the throttle a few times. And knock it off then. Rightio. Let's see if that's done anything. I can't feel any warmth in the pipe, so that's a good thing. I don't want that to just take it off cautiously anyway, just in case. Pretty sure. Oh, a little bit of back pressure. It's gone down a tiny bit, so we'll top that up, and I'll probably just repeat that procedure a few times. So that's basically it. And then very, very simple job. Didn't take long at all. But what I would advise is perhaps the following day, once everything's settled, just check the water levels again. So water, well, coolant, you know what I mean. And I'm going to repeat that a couple of times, but it's gone down barely a centimetre, if that, you know, so only a tiny bit. But I'll just repeat that a few times. So that was changing the fluid in my Honda CB 650F. It's a 18 plate. I think most Honda 650s are practically the same, the sort of configuration with regards to that, so the procedure will be just the same. So just the usual, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the following video.